Well, there. Hello, everyone. I'm making this live stream unplanned, impromptu. It's 7:15 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning, and I've just completed watching part one of Peter Jackson's "The Beatles Get Back." And I thought maybe I'd come on here and see if we have anybody watching, and maybe we could discuss it. For anybody who's seen it already, I don't know. It's early here in the East Coast. Some people have seen it already, some haven't seen it yet. So we'll see how this goes. I had planned on making a video, an official video, where I give my feelings. Um, and I probably will still do that, depending how this goes. Maybe this could serve as the actual record of part one. I don't know. And so we're gonna have fun as we go along here. I didn't really see notes. Didn't take, so I'm reading. So I didn't take notes. I mean, because you know I watched this at 4 a.m. in the morning, from four o'clock till about 6:30 or a little later than 6:30 a.m. So it was dark. The light, I didn't want to turn the lights on. I watched it like in a theater vibe, so it was kind of dark. Didn't really get a chance to take notes, and I have my pad all ready to go. Now I plan on watching this more than once. Okay, so everything I'm going to talk about here in this live stream is going to be just my initial feelings, my first gut reaction, seeing it the first time. It's going to probably be fine tuned, a lot like the Beatles' music, right? In the Get Back project, right? It starts out that they're just having some ideas kicking around and trying to flesh out songs. Well, that's what I'm going to do with my opinions here. One time is really not enough to accurately judge this. Um, I would say that it's just initial reaction. That's all it is. So yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about here on the East Coast. Uh, the show came on at 3 a.m. in the morning, and my intention was to go to bed at midnight and sleep till about 6 a.m. And then I was going to get up at 6 a.m. and watch it. 'Cause I'm an early riser. I don't mind getting up. I always get up at 6 a.m. anyway, every day. So I didn't mind that, but I knew I was gonna be like a child on Christmas Eve. I knew I was gonna be not able to sleep, and sure enough, that's what happened. I went in at 12 o'clock. I tossed and I turned. I was excited. I couldn't sleep. I don't know if I fell asleep a little bit by 1 or 1:30. I don't know. And then I kept waking up every half hour. Was it 3 o'clock? Is it 3 o'clock? Finally, at 4 o'clock, I gave in at 4 o'clock. I said, "That's it. I'm getting up now. That's it." Hello, folks, everybody that's here. Robert P. Uh, yeah. Um, well, you know, my feeling is overall, I was fascinated by it. Part one. Of course, I'm a big Beatles fan for my whole life. To see footage that I've never seen before, hear audio that I've never heard before, and some that I have, because I've never listened to all of the Niagara reels. I'm not in, I've never been able to sit through all of it. I'll be honest with you, especially the first part of it. Twickenham studio is it can be so dull and not very conducive to getting a good mood for music, and that's what I felt watching it. Now I know that a lot of people have said already who I've seen, and people who I'm already getting some comments from here on the side, already saying, "Oh, I loved it. It was great." I loved the experience myself. It was amazing as a historical experience. As a Beatles fanatic, it is amazing to see this. However, I'm going to talk about a lot of good things, but at the same time, I got to be honest. I think I'm probably going to be the only one who feels this way, or maybe is daring to say it could be dull at times. Like I said, my feeling overall at the end is like this is a fascinating watch for serious students of the Beatles, people who really love the Beatles. It's amazing. But for the casual fan, but people who only casually like the Beatles, or for new people who've never seen the Beatles at all. I mean, suppose you're 7-year-old, you don't even know who the Beatles are, and you say, "Mommy, what, Daddy, what's this? Let's watch this, the Beatles." I think they're gonna be bored, to tell you the truth. So, I mean, that's how I feel about part 1. I know that part 2 and part 3 are gonna be absolutely amazingly exciting. 2 and 3, we're gonna get the rooftop in part 3, we're gonna have the move to Apple, uh, the Apple building in part 2, and it's gonna really be, like, amazing. But as I say, that's my general feel of it. Fascinating, so much to love, so much to drool over from the perspective of a diehard fan like myself and like a lot of you out there who are going to be watching this. But I wonder about because I'm hoping that some, as I say, newbies are going to have new generation Beatle fans are going to be spawned from this. I'm wondering how many newbies are gonna would come out of part one. Um, that's how I feel about it, really. So the first thing that I was surprised by, I didn't know how to take it at first. And there's going to be some spoilers in here, so if you haven't seen it, you might some spoilers. Um, when it starts with a summary of the Beatles' history up to this point. It starts out with John Lennon and the Quarrymen and asking Paul McCartney to join his band in like 1957, and then and then getting George Harrison into the band, and then Ringo eventually, and they show you them at the Cavern Club, and show you them becoming famous around England, and then eventually coming to America, and they make A Hard Day's Night, they make Help, they show you the whole career. They stop touring after a while. Uh, they do Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and start getting a little psychedelic. They do the White Album, and then we take it up to date. That's nice to give people who don't know the Beatles a little background. I mean, I didn't count the time on it. I don't know how long it is that they do that. It seemed like no more than 10 minutes. I don't even think it was 10 minutes. It could have been 8 minutes or something. I have to time it next time I watch it, which I will. And but at first I was like, "Oh, why are they doing this?" I want to see the get back footage. What's all this? And then I said, "No, no, this is great. This is great because this is, after all, a film. This is a film with a story to be told." So then I started warming up to the idea and liking it a lot. The fact that they were going to show you the background of the Beatles up to this point, how they started. They started in the 50s, and then the early 60s became a powerhouse. They became a like phenomenon after a relatively short time, and uh, from like between 62 and 64, and then everything else, how they got up to this moment. So they set it up really nice, and then I liked how at the beginning, Peter Jackson tells you all the players. They show you, George Martin, the producer, Glenn Johns, Michael Lindsay Hogg, the director. They Mal Evans, Rhodey. They set up who all the characters are. That's fantastic. And yeah, so right away we get into it, and I love the way um, Peter Jackson chooses to show you a calendar, and each day is covered. Like I think it starts January the 2nd, and then they show you footage from January the 2nd. And then after the day is over, they show you the calendar with an X in it. Move on to January 3rd, After that's over, after they spend about 20 minutes on that date, then it's an X, and they go day by day, which I think is pretty cool. I like that this documentary sets it up day by day. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please, I know we got a good amount of people watching now. Um, I'll answer questions from what I've seen if you're interested, or you can tell me what you thought if you've seen it already. Let's see. Hello, happy Thanksgiving to all. Everybody who is into Thanksgiving. Um, let's see. I know right now as I speak, my girlfriend is putting the turkey in the oven already. It's not even 7:30 in the morning, so you might hear some of that. Okay, love it. Loved it. Closet Christian says, I can understand why George left. John was playing lead. Paul said doesn't need the two guitars. Told him to play with Ringo on the upbeats. Look really upset. Yeah, it's funny. The bit about George Harrison leaving, there's no real footage of why. So as it's presented in the film, I don't get the feeling like we really know why George left. It's very laid back. "Oh, I'm leaving now. I think I'll leave now." When? Now? and he just leaves, and there's not much footage of it, and the camera goes off. So it's not really this big blowout or or anything exciting or dramatic or cinematic. Even it's very casual. So that doesn't really mean much. And well, first of all, we all know the quality, the film quality, the restoration done on this is phenomenal. The colors, the clarity, looks like it was shot today. It's fantastic. It looks great. Um, all of that is phenomenal. Um, and the audio is great. The clarity of the audio. A little, minor quibbles because that's how I roll. I give you the good and I give you the not so bad. Overall, there's nothing to complain about. If you're a Beatles fan, you're gonna love this. You should love this. But there's subtitles, and I don't not throughout the whole thing. Occasionally, if the dialogue isn't that clear or you don't not as loud as Jackson would like, perhaps you get subtitles. And I have nothing against subtitles. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm a film fan, and I've watched and I own back there many, many foreign films that I watch with subtitles. I have no problem reading subtitles on films. However, with this particular film, I was like, being it was my first time watching, I didn't want my eyes to be diverted from the image of the Beatles and what was going on down to the bottom of the screen to read. Um, Now, the only thing I find puzzling is the subtitles are not only, how do I put it? They're not only used when there's something you can't really decipher audio wise. There are times when it seems like there's stuff that you could hear plainly obvious, yet there's still subtitles. I mean, to me anyway, I'm like, well, that was loud enough. That was clear enough. Why are the subtitles there? And there were other times when I heard things I said, well, I didn't really catch that. That's not so clear, but yet there's no subtitles this time. I feel like, eh, if you're going to use subtitles when things are quiet, why not use them all the time? But as it goes along and as you get to listen and watch more, you get used to it, and it's okay. And it's not overly intrusive. So for those of you who don't like subtitles, it actually helps you after a while. Um, let's see. There's so many things here. Um, Yeah, now you see this, the sessions do slow down a bit. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, let's be honest, folks. You could be the biggest Beatle fan in the world, and we wanna like enjoy every new piece of footage. But after a while, 2.5 hours of just seeing a lot of like tinkering and spitballing ideas. Maybe how about this? How about that? What do you think? Maybe that's interesting, very interesting up to a point. But I find that's what I say at the beginning that I wonder if uh, young people, newbies, people just saying, "Look, who are the Beatles? What's this all about?" I wonder if they're going to be that much invested in wanting to come back for part two after watching part one, and part two and three are going to be even better. The best parts of it. So that's what I was wondering about it. Was there a wow moment? Somebody asked. There were a lot of wow moments, and yet it's funny how when you're on here and you're on the spot, you can't think of any. But I I already knew a lot what was going to be in the film, so I guess I wasn't really blown away by much. Let me just see what I can. Yeah, Peter Jackson did do a great job. There's no doubt about that. For sure, I agree with you there. Overall, happy Thanksgiving signals. Could I keep this up as a video? Well, yeah, I may leave this up as a video. It depends how it goes, actually. And as I say, this is just like a first reaction, really. I'll probably make a more formal video later. And I know there are going to be other things going on. I'm going to have other talk shows. I'm going to be doing a Fab Gab. Be sure you tune in for that. There's going to be a Fab Gab show here on my channel. It's going to be me and a bunch of people discussing it after we've seen it, all three chapters on Sunday. So mark that on your calendar. It'll be Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, we'll be talking about all three after we've had a chance to see them a few times. Let's see now. Just I hear you. Hello, Ann. Good morning. Yes, indeed. I know what you're saying. You want to be left up. Um, and happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody. Yeah, well, we knew that there's wonderful scenes of Yoko and Linda talking and smiling. You get to, I mean, stuff that's in here. I don't know if you know. There's first you get, I don't know, stuff like she came in through the bathroom window, which you've heard on a lot of bootlegs, perhaps. But it's great to see John and Paul kind of joking around, working on. She came in through the bathroom window. I love Let It Be. There's a part when, Paul's really first getting Let It Be going and everybody is participating and into it. That's great. They have the Susie Parker scene. Some people call it Susie Parlor, or Susie's Parlor. All I could say is it says on the screen Susie Parker with a K. So finally, I feel comfortable calling it Susie Parker, just like my Sweet Apple Tracks bootleg used to say. That's a fun bit of business when they do Susie Parker. Interestingly, Peter Jackson thankfully left in the Commonwealth bit and the No Pakistanis bit, but he explains it in context, which is good, because, about Enoch Powell and why they were kind of parodying him. It's not a racist thing. He explains in context of what the jam is about that and why Paul is singing that and John is joining in and everything. It's great to see Yoko Jam. A lot of people won't like that, but after George Harrison leaves the Beatles, they don't know what to do. So Yoko they start jamming with Yoko, and of course, it's Yoko making a lot of noise, but what's fantastic is it really livens things up, and you have Ringo smashing the drum kit really hard, and you have Paul participating with his guitar, bass, trying to get feedback from the speakers, trying to have a little fun in the avant-garde moment. So I think that's great that they're behind it and they're interested in it. Yeah, I'm with you, Beans. Yes, indeed, an amazing restoration. By the way, I don't know who's here. I'm going to leave an invite link in case anybody is, I don't know, alert, dressed, wants to come on. I don't know. I'm going to try that out. I'm just going to see how this goes. So, yeah, hold on a minute. I'll leave an invite link. Uh, oh, yes, Lee, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Well, as I say, when I say it's dull, I don't mean so much for myself with a strong Beatle student of all things Beatles, people who love the Beatles, but I'm saying for the general public. And I like to think that this particular uh, film is going to be something that's going to create some new Beatle fans. You're going to get some new young Beatle fans, just like the anthology excited some young people, and just like the Beatles' one CD brought a new generation of fans, and perhaps the Beatles' Rock Band game brought a new generation of fans. I was hoping this would too. I think it will, but the first one is tough going. But then again, isn't that part of what's supposed to happen? Um, the idea that they weren't very comfortable in Twickenham. That's why they moved later on to Apple, and things got really picked up. But as I say, for if you're out there listening to this and you're a diehard fan and you love the Beatles as much as I do, you're good. It's essential to watch part one. This is amazing. I also found out a few things like during the famous tiff, the famous little row that you know George has along with Paul. You know, hold on, the person in the wings. Hold on a second. I'll bring you up in a minute. Um, I always, the way it looks in Let It Be, it looks like they were arguing over "I've Got a Feeling." We find out it's "Don't Let Me Down." That's really the thing that they're talking about, and also the fact that I always joke around. Boy, Paul is taking credit for like so many John songs. And over the years, I wrote part of this, I wrote part of that. He's suggesting lyrics and things and "Don't Let Me Down." I'm in love for the first time. The whole bit in the middle, he's like suggesting and half co-writing with John on the spot. So I'm going to bring somebody up here. Let's see. Hello. Hold on.
Hello. Hello?
Hello. How are you?
Hello. I love your show, by the way.
Oh,
I think
thank
your
you.
show is awesome.
And where are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Australia.
That was my guess. First. So you've
I break
seen?
up the Beatles. I break up the Beatles because I was born in the 9th of February 1970, and
Oh,
John and Paul just went, we can't compete with that. So I'm the reason they
exactly.
broke up.
That's the reason. It's all your fault, right?
But I think Peter Jackson's done a brilliant job. It
Yeah.
does slow down a little bit. I get what you're saying. It does bog down a bit. Uh, but it's brilliant. I mean, I'm a Beatles tragic. I go to the Beatles, and then there's everybody else.
Oh,
Like
sure.
I'm getting into the Birds again at the moment. I'm loving the
Oh,
Birds. So I've been waiting a long time for this. I mean, this came out when I was born. They broke up when I was born. I love everything about the Beatles. I'm the John Lennon nut, but I've just recently, I think, I bought the Paul McCartney lyrics book, the
mm-hmm.
big one,
Yeah.
and I love a lot of Paul's stuff. I don't know why he's so bitter. Like yesterday, I wish I could dream a song like that. I'm like, mate,
Yeah.
1,000 people have covered your song. Be grateful. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, I
but
mean,
yeah, I
but
think it's brilliant, Doco.
he's really on in this, isn't he? Too. But we knew Paul was going to be
I had
spot
to
on in
take
this.
over because John wants to leave. I wanted a divorce, and John wanted to leave, so he had to keep his mouth shut. And it's really interesting because I've read all the books, everything, and where Dick James comes in and they're discussing where
Right.
they're looking at, he's bought all those songs. I go,
Yeah,
I
that's
know
a
what's
that's
about
an
to happen.
interesting part. Dick James, yeah, Dick James, this publisher, comes in, which is interesting. Um, yeah, just a lot of moments, but I say Paul, like you were saying about yesterday and everything. Boy, he's always got music in his head, and it's amazing when he's sitting there getting the first feeling for "Get Back," like what he starts like
Oh, Get Back is an awesome song.
jamming
It's
on that.
just one of the greatest songs ever written. I mean, I'm a Lennon nut, and I can appreciate Paul
Oh
forever.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. John's my favorite Beatle has always been, but that's mainly because I just find John interesting as a person, more direct, that kind of thing. But Paul, is just a genius. I mean, he's the musical genius. Well, John and Paul together,
oh,
of course, but um, yeah, Paul is.
Penny Lane, and I love Strawberry Fields, but I love Penny Lane just as much.
Mm.
So I love every. I think Paul had to take over, but the
Yeah, you had to
frustrating
do it.
thing with George leaving is George has got these songs. He's got nearly everything. He's got like Not Guilty. He's got All Things Must Pass. He's even got My Sweet Lord at this point. And
He's got.
the others aren't just interesting because I think John Lennon just went, can't let them on the album. They're too bloody good, you know.
Yeah, a
And
lot of a lot of good
I
stuff
Me
there.
Mine. I love that song. And John just it's a waltz song. So that's John, you know.
Well, so overall, you like what you saw, and I guess on part one, eh?
10 out of 10. I'm a Beatles tragic man. I can't
I like
I
that term.
can't get enough. I can't get enough of the Beatles. But I
Well,
just want to go to England, walk across Abbey Road Studio, the crossing, walk into the studio, plug the guitar in there in the studio, and go. I'm home. I'm home.
yeah, I've never been. I'd like to go there sometime. I'm going to bring someone else up. I'm going to try to like change people off. So thank you for
You're
joining
right.
us, and talk soon. Hello, Matthew. How are you
Hey,
doing?
Joe,
Happy.
just waking up. Just want to say happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone out
Oh,
there.
thank you. You too.
And so you've already watched the first part.
Yes, I have, and that's what I'm here to mainly talk about. If there's people who have seen it, I'd like them to share their feelings. They can come up one at a time, perhaps. And yeah, and if anybody has any questions of what specifics of what was in it, they don't want unless they want to not be spoiled. Um, I have so much to say. I don't know, about it. I don't even know where to begin. I've said a few things. I talked about the row. Oh, also, everybody's always thinking John was so strung out on heroin at the time, which he was. involved with heroin. But so far up to this point, he looks fine and he's full of energy. And probably John and Paul together both have immense energy in this. It's Ringo and George who come across a little less enthusiastic right now in Twickenham.
Well, I had a question. After they show the 3 parts, then they just be available to stream if someone wanted to sit through all of it, or you know?
As I understand it, I mean, I'm no expert on this, Matthew, but as I understand it, that's the idea that it's going to all be up there. Then you can just watch them indefinitely, I guess, until they're taken down.
Okay.
I know I'm going to watch this one again today, at least a couple more times. You know,
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to be going to eat here in a little bit, but I'm going to probably watch it when I get back from that
yeah,
because I've
yeah.
got some uh, running around the house stuff to do this morning, so I don't want to start it and put it aside. So I'm just going to wait till probably 1 o'clock or so when I can sit down and watch the whole thing, the whole of this episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. As I said, I couldn't wait. I said early on, it's like it dropped at 3 a.m. here, and I'm not an early morning I mean, I'm a morning person. I am a morning person, but not that early. I'm a 6 o'clock person, not a 3 o'clock in the morning person.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I went to bed at midnight thinking I could go right. I'll sleep till like 6 and then get up at 6 hours sleep. No, that didn't happen because I was like a kid on Christmas Eve. There was
yeah.
just no way I could sleep. I was like, I'm rolling around. Finally, 4 o'clock, I gave up. I said, I'm getting up.
Now
I,
I'm like a 5 or 6 person too, but I made the brilliant decision to go get LASIK surgery yesterday, the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm still kind of
oh,
recovering from that. And
what a time to get that at this documentary. Well, so how's that going for you? Because I
that
was
was,
thinking about it.
yeah, it's going well. I mean, the reason I went 2.5 weeks or so ago, because you have to go see if you're even eligible, can have it, because not everyone can. They said I could, and they said, we can schedule you for November 24th. And I said, yeah. And then I left and thought, nah, that's the day before Thanksgiving. Why the hell did I do that? But it was already scheduled. So it went, yeah, it's a little unnerving when they put you on the table and the things come down at your eyes and
Well,
all that.
that's
But
the only thing I'm afraid of.
yeah,
But
but I think it took maybe 10, 12 minutes, the actual procedure, and bunch of eye drops I've been putting in. But I mean, people don't care about my eyes, but I
yeah, I
just
was gonna
mentioned that. That's why I'm
say
a little,
I asked because well,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
talk about it another time with you.
But
Um,
it's going. I don't have glasses on, and I can see stuff far away that I could without glasses
Oh, yeah,
before.
that sounds good to me. Hello, Darren Gamble. I always want to make sure I acknowledge Darren. Hello, James Winston, Ono Sinatra, Lenny White, Lennon. Yeah, everybody that's here. Yeah, I know it's too early, here for Eastern, and I don't know how many people are going to join. But yeah, I wish I had more to say about it. What can I say? It's great to see Linda. Linda looks beautiful. I think this is her best period. She's 69. She looks amazing. Maureen comes in near the end of the part one and hangs out a bit, and she's also very, very nice looking. And I think Yoko. I know, Yoko. I think the footage of Yoko in here. Um, After a while, you don't even think she's there. I mean, it's not like it's intrusive or anything. And she seems to know her place. She doesn't get in the way of anything. She's just like a window dressing or something. Um, although, of course, if you missed it when I said it, there is the Yoko jam. She does jam with the Beatles when George quits for a little
Yeah.
bit, but they don't overdo it. It's not that long. It's only a couple of minutes, and enough that I like to see that the band is into it. Which, well, John, George, and Ringo, Paul. No, John, Ringo, and Paul, because George has walked out. To see them trying to get sounds and trying to accompany her, which is pretty interesting. I saw clips of that before. There was a Yoko Ono documentary. I think it was called Then and Now, or Now
I've
and
heard of
Then.
that. Yeah,
And that there was a little clip of that in there. But yeah, to see the quality like this, and also, of course, the audio. It sounds great, but you have to understand. People might not know that there's not always video enough video footage or film footage to accompany all the audio. So very often, stuff doesn't match. Sometimes you'll see them speaking and saying the words, and then where there's no more film, they'll show you shots of somebody else or behind the
Yeah.
hedge or something to try to make it flow. Which I understand. It's done very, very well. I mean, a fantastic job by Peter Jackson. It's really good. And yeah, there was. I'm wondering what else we're going to see in part two. I guess part two is probably going to start off still at Twickenham, I guess, and then move over to Apple. But um, so I'm trying to think song wise, what else is there? Well, there's stuff too with a bit with Around the Beatles, which is fun when they're presenting a possible audience idea, and they come over to Paul saying, "How about this?" And it's like the Hey Jude promo film where the audience is around in a circle. It's kind of like what we did. That's Around the Beatles. We did that the show
Yeah.
Around the Beatles. And then go ask John, and he'll tell you. Then showed it to John. Oh yeah, that's Around the Beatles. He says, he's over in the corner and he says the same thing Paul just said. So they kind of don't want to repeat themselves and they're struggling for direction and an idea. What are they going to do? How are they going to present this? They got to get some songs, and Paul's frustrated the most. Yeah.
Well, hey Joe, I got to get up and run around. I just want to check in. Like I said, wish you and everyone good Thanksgiving,
Thank you.
and
Same to you.
I'll be looking for. I'm maybe watching it here in a few hours, and maybe you or someone else will be. I'm sure there'll be plenty more chats about it here in the days to
Oh
come.
yeah. Oh, there's going to be lots of stuff this weekend. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Hey, one of
Yeah.
these days, I want to do that 20 top 20 movies since 2000. We talked
Oh
about one.
yeah, yeah. That's
But
even though the movie channel's on hold, we'll get that. We'll get it done. We'll get
we
it
get it
done.
done. All right, man. Good
All right.
Thanksgiving, everyone, and Joe, and take care.
Okay. Thank you, sir. See you.
How do I get out of here?
I'll get you out. On the bottom, look for if it says leave studio. Okay. So yes, this was great. Yes, indeed. It was great to see John and Paul face to face vocalizing and showing each other chords. Yes, that was all great. Yeah, terrific. I loved it. Seeing their faces and really getting into it. All right. So yeah, do I have any other notes here? No, I didn't really have a chance to make notes, As I say, I was gonna have my notepad, but this first time that I watch it, there will be at least one or two more today, at least two more that I'll watch it today. I'm gonna have the actual notes and every little detail, and I'll probably come back making a more official kind of video, I guess. Um, so, but that's it. That's all I wanted to do for now. Just give you my feelings of it. Beautiful quality to look at. Great job by Michael. I keep saying Michael Jackson. Sorry, Peter. Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson. Michael Jackson. Somebody else. That's Thriller. No. Peter Jackson did a fantastic job. Yeah. And it's great to see the Beatles. Trying to come together here amidst these crazy odds and times and pressures that they have. And Twickenham Studio was not the best place to record, to rehearse. So obviously, it's not conducive to a great environment and great work. So they're having some problems. And I still say the only thing is, even as a diehard fan, I'm interested, but it was getting, at times it could get a little bit much. It could get kind of dull. And then there'll be something to interest you again. But I'm just wondering, for Beatle fanatics, they're gonna have a great time. And 2.5, I don't know how long it was, at least 2.5 hours, right? Maybe around there. Maybe was it more? I don't know. Something like that, 2.5 ish. But for the casual fan, for the 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds watching Disney that maybe get into it, I'm wondering how much they're going to really get off on it. Are they going to be able to enjoy it? Are they going to say, "This is fun, boy"? Hey, daddy, mommy, I can't wait to see part two. Who are these guys? I don't know. Because it's mostly I call it spitballing ideas, trying to, read each other, and a lot of talking and stuff, which is fascinating for us, people like me. But I'm wondering about everybody else. Hello, Robert S. I'm going to go now. So just wanted to do a short, you know, 35 minute piece here. We had a couple of people come up, and I guess I'm going to be visiting you later on, whether it's live or whether it's videos. I just want to again tell everybody, hello, James Byers. I want to tell everybody to please tune in to my channel here for a Fab Gab show, what I'm going to do with my co-host Matthew Street from the Matthew Street channel, and a bunch of guests we're going to have on here. And this is going to be Sunday after all three parts are on. Sunday, the time is 5 p.m. Eastern. Be here. It's going to be a live run through of all three parts, and we're going to have our notes, and we're going to have everything more in order, where we can talk about little details with you. And also, I'm going to be on Talk More Talk. That's another show that I do. Talk More Talk. We're going to have two Talk More Talks. It gets a little confusing. Talk More Talk is now here on YouTube. It used to be Facebook. Now it's on YouTube. Talk More Talk will have two shows. First one is going to be Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Second one will be Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we'll, on both nights, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern and on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be going over what we've seen from Get Back, all of us. And yes, there's a lot of stuff coming up. And plus, other people are going to, all my friends here on YouTube who have channels, they're going to be doing stuff too. So it's a Beatles Thanksgiving, everybody. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the film, okay? I'm sure you will.